Hey guys, what's going on? So ever since the very end of the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV series, a lot of Star Wars fans have been very skeptical about the future of the Star Wars universe, of course. Everything related to what Joby Harold did and Deborah Chow did with the Kenobi TV show. Now, there's a lot of people out there that love the Kenobi series, which is all fine and okay, and there's also a lot of fans out there that are very unhappy with the direction of the show. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, the one problem with the Kenobi series is that this was a show that was in limbo for a very long time. I don't know if you guys were very well aware about that, but the show was originally going to be a single solo movie for 2020, obvious reasons that did not happen. And then we had, of course, that transfer over into a Kenobi movie trilogy, as Stuart Beatty confirmed this, Ewan McGregor confirmed this as well. They even teased that in the old Collider interview from 4 years ago, give or take. So there was a lot of things that were happening, and basically it went to a show, then that got canceled, and then it got back on. It was just a very long and tiring process for the cast and the crew and the producers, etc. So with that being said, alright, this brings us to exactly where Ewan McGregor is right now, where his mindset is with the Kenobi series, and what he had to say again about the Star Wars fandom, the fan reception, his thoughts about the direction of the Kenobi show, and more, and what he actually had to apologize for when it comes to the Kenobi TV series. Even though I believe that Ewan McGregor has nothing to apologize for, I thought his performance was spectacular, and that was the highlight of the show. So, moving forward from that, with the Ahsoka series now filming and getting ready to enter post-production by the end of this year, of course leading into 2023, both Favreau and Filoni are currently very busy with their new Star Wars projects to arrive on the Disney Plus platform. However, in a recent interview with actor Ewan McGregor, he went on to respond to the fans and the backlash against the Kenobi series once again after he was questioned about his thoughts on the fan reception. McGregor stated the following: "It was never our intention, and especially not mine, given that I was executive producer, to let down so many fans who felt that we shifted away from Vader and Obi-Wan's story. I didn't have all the control in the world over the series, unfortunately, and all I have to say to everyone out there is that I am sorry, I really do apologize, that we did not take full advantage of telling the stories that the fans wanted. I understand that fans will never agree with everything, but this was a very tough production that we had for several reasons, and a very tight one. I tried my best to convince Kathy to use Stuart's original vision from the trilogy that we were planning many years ago, and I was so bummed that we didn't get to use any of his ideas in detail. When I say this, I tell the truth that I tried everything in my power to convince Kathy, Joby, and Deborah to use Beatty's original vision. They just didn't want to risk it all with this way of storytelling, which I thought was a better story, to be honest. There was so much more conflict between Vader and Obi-Wan that I think it would have made the fans cry and get very emotional. Maybe one day I will be able to talk more about the Kenobi trilogy that we had planned, but it was such a shame that Kathy didn't want to use this layout for the Kenobi story." So, I just want to stop here quick before I get to the next thing that he actually had to say. The thing about the Kenobi movie trilogy, even though he did tease this in that Collider interview, you guys may recall, where he's like, oh, hey, you know, maybe it's going to be a trilogy. I don't know. You know, he was kind of like playing a little coy there at times. But the thing about Ewan McGregor is that he's been apologizing on and off about the Kenobi series, as you all know. He has nothing to apologize for, because even though he was executive producer, he didn't have all the control, like he said, over the series. I mean, he had some creative input on maybe 3 episodes, give or take, and that was mainly the first one, the second, and the third one. So, at the end of the day, when you look at it like that, it was mainly Kathleen Kennedy's vision, given that she held the contract with the Kenobi movie and the trilogy at the time. A lot of the, story elements of Stuart Beatty's vision were left out, were deleted, or just not used in the Kenobi series at all. So now what they're doing, and as we talked about this a couple days ago, is that they are going to be continuing that Kenobi story. They're not quite sure how to market it just yet, whether or not they want to call it a season 2, or additional episodes to the current title of Obi-Wan Kenobi, or what they want to do. This is something that's being tossed around right now. They do want to make it into a soft reboot, and they are negotiating on giving it a completely brand new title. Great example would maybe be like Master Kenobi, or Kenobi Returns, or something generally speaking like that, and then just have chapters 1 through whatever. That's something that they are negotiating on. That's a prime example there. So moving on forward from all of that, he goes on to say the following. I also want to apologize for the fact that we did not get to use and make Kenobi's story into a movie or a trilogy as we had planned. I always agreed with the community that Star Wars needs to be in the cinema, and this is something that I agreed with Stuart Beatty, especially for a character like Obi-Wan, you know? It's just the way it should be. Due to certain circumstances, we had to downgrade to streaming, and 6 episodes only. We had initially planned 9 episodes, but Kathy decided to cut down to 6 to tell a shorter story for myself. Now, I have been in close contact with Stuart, and he is not impressed with some of the characters' fates, to be clear. He himself wanted a completely different outcome with Reva, and especially with some of the Inquisitors. It was just such a stretch of creative differences that happened, sadly, that really left this project in limbo for so very long. I won't say much, but I am in the talks for some pretty exciting things related to Star Wars, but that's as far as I'm going to go with that. I just hope everyone will end up being happy in the end for Kenobi. So, I want to just stop here again quick, because Ewan McGregor, we all know that he is a very passionate guy. Also, when it comes to Star Wars, you know, it's why he accepted the executive producer role, and unfortunately that kind of turned out to be, you know, something against what he expected, because he was only really in creative power significantly for 3 episodes strictly, and that was it. You know, on a significant level at least. So, when you look at everything related to that, Stuart Beatty was very unhappy with the direction of the Kenobi series. Not a big surprise, you know, because Stuart was going to do a lot greater things, to say the least. I mean, he had amazing ideas, and a lot of those storyboards that are already developed that were meant to be used in the script of the Kenobi trilogy are now going to be transferred over to use in the soft reboot of the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, as we had discussed about a week ago. So, the thing about this too that I think a lot of fans need to be aware of is the fact that everything related to Ewan McGregor putting things out there, it just goes to show you that I think he's at a point and in a mindset, realizing that Kathleen Kennedy doesn't have much creative power anymore. He feels more free to talk and speak his mind, because Favreau got that big promotion over at Lucasfilm, and he's basically running the show now. He's not a president, but he is basically running the show when it comes to the lore, and even some of the business end of things. So overall, you know, I think that he's got nothing to apologize for, but Ewan McGregor, you can tell he feels bad for the fandom without a doubt. So overall, guys, you know, drop a comment below. Let me know what you guys have to say about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Night to moon, we hear them moans again.